What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of AppMasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content related to helping you grow your app downloads and, more importantly, you know it, your revenues. And today I've got a phenomenal guest. We're going to talk all about ASO in 2021 and also the importance of A/B testing, because I just had an interview with one of my friends, Ryan Yada, and he was like, look, we were A/B testing everything. And then we started seeing incremental gains. And then before you know it, their keywords really started taking off because of all the consistent A/B testing. And with me today, she's all dressed up. She's like, Steve, don't you always wear a tie on these live streams?
Yeah.
So she put on a nice suit. She looks phenomenal. I'm like, Lina, I feel underdressed now. But her name is Lina Danilchik, and she is the marketing manager at SplitMetrics. SplitMetrics is the platform that allows you to A/B test any of the elements that are important in your App Store listing. So without further ado, Lina, welcome to the live stream.
Thank you for having me, Steve. Hey, guys. By the way, Steve, I saw that you were wearing headphones, and I will be with headphones as well. I hate them. I feel like Cheburashka. I will send you later this Russian cartoon character.
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
So, but when we meet on other streams, I think we'll cooperate prior to them and decide what we will wear.
Lina, it's because of the pandemic. Like, I haven't gotten a haircut, so obviously I'm going to be able to get a haircut. And this is just my working out outfit. And my wife is like, you should just keep the beanie on and just go to your live stream. I'm like, okay, if my wife says so, then I'll go ahead and do it. So
beanie is cool. I was wearing beanie today as well. It is the red one. Now I'll go and get it. Just kidding. No.
I hope you're not mad. You're like, Steve, I could have just stayed in my beanie too then.
Yeah.
But Lina, let's start off with ASO in 2021. So what are you focused on? And then maybe we can talk about some of the important things to be A/B testing with your ASO as well.
Yeah, you know, there is still the coronavirus pandemic across the world, unfortunately. And also there are some changes that to be seen this year, such as the deprecation of IDFA by Apple. So user acquisition will definitely change this year. So ASO and creatives will actually be king this year. Creatives will become even more crucial part of not only ASO but overall of the app or mobile game growth strategy. So it's a cool Steve's idea to discuss A/B testing today, because A/B testing is one of the simplest, the most effective ways to optimize your creatives for the App Store and Google Play. So let's see what we'll have this year, but let's also prepare and do our best to make our apps and games skyrocket on the App Stores.
Yeah, I agree. Are there important things that you should be A/B testing? I always feel like it's screenshots. Maybe it's something different that you should be A/B testing. Are there different things that we should be, like when we first launch the app and we're starting to get those downloads? What should we first be trying to A/B test?
Thank you for your question, Steve. It's a good one, because I've always thought, and I've always shared my opinion, that screenshots are definitely the most important, the critical element of App Store listing. However, we have recently released ASO benchmarks rapid for mobile games at SplitMetrics, and it showed an interesting fact. You know, on the App Store, the most important element is icon, because it can bring I don't know the number exactly. I don't remember. I can check it out. I think it's around 20% uplift you can reach with the help of Yes, on the App Store you can get 22.8% uplift, conversion rate uplift if you optimize your icon, and on Google Play you can get 20.2% uplift if you optimize icon. So the most important element for the App Store is actually icon. They're close with screens because if you optimize screenshots on the App Store, you can get up to 21% uplift in your conversion rate. And if you optimize screenshots on Google Play, you can get 24% uplift. So obviously on Google Play, screenshots are still the most important elements of your product page, and probably you should pay more attention to icon on the App Store, and app preview is on the third place here. So yes, your visuals, your icon and screenshots are the most important elements, and you should start with optimizing them. If you ask me about testing process, probably how it works, it is also better. It is always better to start with research and analysis. Many clients, many peers, our colleagues in the industry ask what to test, where to start, how does it work, and I think it's always better to start with research and analysis. In short, you check recent trends in your category, regardless app or game. Then you check global design trends on the web. Then you check out what your competitors do and see what you currently have, if you already have an app on the App Store. Then you brainstorm with your team. Then you design variations and formulate a hypothesis. So what is hypothesis? Hypothesis means, for example, if we add this element to screenshot, then we will receive conversion rate uplift. This is hypothesis. And remember to change only one element at a time when running A/B test. You can't change two screenshots, the screenshots order, add, I don't know, landscape screenshots, change icon and test your original control variation and the new one. No, to get data-backed results, you should change only one thing at a time.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things, and I don't know if you guys have dealt with it, the thing about A/B testing app icons, you said, hey, it's one of the most important, but I think developers are so tied to the app icon. It's like part of their brand. So how do you get them to be like, look, we understand it's part of your brand, but here's why you should be A/B testing it. And then when you're A/B testing your icons, is it changing it dramatically, or is it just like slightly changing the color schemes? Like, how do you go about properly A/B testing it?
Okay, thank you for this. This is also a very good question. Yes, publishers don't always want to change their icon because they see that this is a good one. We worked on it. We think it works. And apps change their icons and test their icons more rarely because in the games they actually change icons often. For example, seasonal testing, some seasonal events, holidays, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas, New Year, festivals, Coachella, all this works for games. I mean, when they add some elements that are associated with the holiday or event, for example, Christmas tree, if it fits the icon, when they add features to the game and also represent them on the icon, it definitely works. And our experiments at SplitMetrics, A/B testing experiments, show that by adjusting your icon to such events, to holiday events, you can actually get up to 40% conversion uplift. I think this is, so it's definitely worth testing. And also, I have a tip or, I don't know, advice for also, it works very well for game developers. I would advise you to add your brand name to your icon because not all users know your logo actually, but brand name is something that sounds more often. And we mentioned 2021, and in 2021, brand awareness will also become even more important because old channels, old ways to promote your app probably won't work. And brand awareness is something that always works because users see something that is that they have already seen, and they are more inclined to download your app or game. And this is also a viral loop because a viral loop is something that works very well. In short, what this means: users download an app or game, share with their friends. Friends download this game or app and share with their friends, and everyone hears this name, and people just want to download it. So adding your brand name to your icon actually might work very well, especially if you have if you are a game publisher and you have many titles and you have different games and you want to show, for example, you're releasing a new game, yeah, and you have a very popular game and you want to show, hey, I'm the developer of this game as well. So you could just try putting your brand name on the icon. This might actually work. And if you are not very famous, prominent developer, you are just working in this direction, this might actually work as well, because you are placing your brand name and people see your brand name, they remember it, and even if they don't download your app or game this time, next time they see and their brain says, this is something I've already seen. This is how process influence actually works. Process influence is a scientific term. This is actually the speed with which brain processes information. And the more process fluency is, the better sense of liking is brought to your brain, and people are more inclined to download or I just don't know, to buy or get anything they have already seen and something that looks familiar to them. So to finish up about icon, this definitely needs testing, because I've seen a lot of cases when an icon, a brand is famous, is popular, there are thousands of downloads, and icon is very well known, and guys just tested it. They saw a test showed that you could get uplift to your conversion rate if you change your icon, and that actually worked then on the stores. And I know examples when some publishers got 1 million additional downloads, but that was the app I'm mentioning. It was really very popular. But anyway,
what was the app called?
But Masquerade.
Masquerade. All right, try to pull that up.
Overall, I will mention it, I think, a little bit later when we'll auditing some apps, and I'll tell you more about that.
Masquerade game? Is it a game or is it a?
It is a face filter app. We'll auditing today. Very similar one.
I like it. Well, while we're on that topic, let's go to some of the audits. I'm gonna say hi to a few Joes here. Joe, excited to see you every week. I do have some numbers I'll share with you guys on the app advice campaign that I ran. Ram, what's happening, brother? And then we've got Romaine, what's happening? Johan's always here. What's happening? We got hello from a place called Argentina. I know where Argentina is. I got a friend from he's originally from Argentina. He's in Spain, and then his brother's in San Jose with me around here in the Bay Areas. How's it going, Jamie? Bianca, always good to see you. Moyo, what's happening, brother? Good to see you here. We're going to take a look at his app. I did share the ASO benchmark in the comments, so if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and do that. Amir, how's it going? Good to see you. So, Lina, I do have a joke. I don't know if you were seeing this. I was trying to get my son to bring in my bell. I don't have my bell with me. All right, guys, before we get to the app audits, I got a joke for you here. If you guys have been watching for a few times, number 1 is lame. So super dad joke. Number 1 is not lame. You like it. Number 10, if you give me a 10, I'm going vice versa. 10 is super lame dad joke. All right, Lina, you ready? Sunday is sad, but the day before is an even Saturday. Boom.
Wow.
Right.
It's a words game. I think it's pretty good one. I like
pretty good one.
Game.
All right.
Yeah.
I liked it too. My son liked it. All right. So let's get into I've got some numbers pulled up. So let's just get into this real quick, and then we'll get into CBD. Got that on CBT. I'm sorry, CBT, and then we've got Avatarify, and this is what I think you were talking about, Lina. And then Moyo's app, we got Color Noir. All right, so the app advice campaign, if you watched last week's stream where I was kind of showing you my numbers, and I got a lot of activations for when I ran the app advice campaign for my app, but unfortunately, not many conversions. So a lot of people canceled. I think we had like 28 activations for a subscription because we ran a campaign where we gave a longer trial date on one of my apps, and we saw most of them cancel. So I think it's app dependent. I had a client in my last week's stream. I said I had a client who had his highest subscription day because of the app advice campaign. Fortunately, with mine, a lot of people were canceling. So run a few other tests. I think it's still worth, in my eye, running this campaign because it does lead to more downloads and hopefully more awareness and things like that. But unfortunately, I didn't see the conversions as I wanted to. But the numbers are starting to go up. We're getting a little bit more activations, but from the campaign itself, it wasn't so positive. So wanted to share that with you guys. And then we've got Baruch. Baruch is CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy. And he said he wants help with ASO and graphics. So Lina, this is in your boat here. You want to start this off? Like, what do you think about this app?
First of all, I want to say that apps for mental health are actually on the rise today because of the pandemic. And since the start of the pandemic, apps for sports, fitness, health, and mental health are on the rise. So I think this is actually good. I've taken a look at this app and I really liked it. I think it is pretty useful. But I have a few tips. I think they could actually help you. The first one is I think there is too much text on your screenshots. I totally understand you. You know, I always also want to explain everything in detail, to show all the best features, to show how amazing the app is or game is. But all experiments over the past years, over this year, they show that only concise, really concise captions work on screenshots. So I would advise you to keep it short, concise, for example, feel good with cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, I've tried to download it and to look at it at the Google Play Store page, and I have a good eyesight, but I wasn't able to read everything. Now I just don't see using all forms of the cognitive behavioral therapy will make you feel better and confident. This is a good hack to use contrasting colors and highlight words that convey the idea that have like emotional sense. And but I would advise you to keep it short and probably just a few words, just 3 or 4 words that convey the idea of your app per screenshots. Also, I would advise you to use contrasting silent colors. There is such a term as visual silence. Actually, this is from Noir biology, and this means that some objects around us that are contrasting to other objects surrounding them, they catch our attention at once. So you want to catch the attention of users. So I would advise you to utilize contrasting colors for your captions. To be honest with you, I don't think that using light blue, dark blue is okay. Light blue with white is not a very good idea. It cannot be seen. So, for example,
I was pulling up the thing on the phone. Here's my phone. And as you can see, like what Lina was talking about, it's very hard to read. Lina, I was going to ask you about this. Like, have you guys seen on Google Play? Because I like the landscape on Google Play because you can kind of see it a little bit better, and then in the search results you don't actually see the screenshots. But on Apple, I'm kind of like, I like the portrait because I can have 3. But have you guys seen like what performs better, landscape versus portrait, on the different platforms?
And while you guys are answering, yes, about the smartphone that is presented on the screenshots, I would advise you to enlarge the graphics because you want to show your app how cool it is, and people just would associate themselves with your app if they see the interface larger, because now they see text. I can tell you that a very small percentage of users will read all this text on this first screenshot. And remember about first impression framework. They say you can only make a first impression once. So just imagine, this is your face, this is the face of your app, and users see this first screenshot. I also like the landscape. Actually, this might work, but I would also advise to enlarge your smartphone, to enlarge some features like probably under the magnifying glass. I don't know. Just show them how it actually is in your app. And to be honest with you, I also would advise you to put graphics on the left and captions on the right. Steve was prior to our stream. Steve asked me what's better to place, where should be placed graphics and captions, and now I'm answering. Our brain, we have the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, and the right hemisphere actually processes information we see on the left, and the left hemisphere processes information we see on the right. And scientific research and numerous studies show that the right hemisphere is better suited for processing graphics, while the left hemisphere processes information is more logical and more verbal. So it's always better to place graphics on the left because our right hemisphere will process it, and captions on the right. If you have portrait screenshots, of course, it would be good to place them above the screenshot. Here, what I can see, you could also add, for example, I don't know, like with yoga apps, when real people or I don't know, characters, they are making yoga. I saw a lot of such apps, and they always place a woman, a girl, a man on the left, and I think like 70% of the screenshots are occupied with a character or person, and a small caption is on the right if it is a landscape one. So of course it all needs testing, but this could actually help you. And if you're right, you could try. You could start with I don't know if you actually ran Google Play A/B tests. You could try them and try applying these tips. I think you could. The app is pretty good, and you could improve your conversion. And also, as for visual science and neurobiology, scientific research also shows that thin typefaces are associated with beauty, health. So thin typefaces, they work better for beauty apps, photo filter apps, health and fitness, mental health apps, and if it is a game, bold typefaces work better because they are associated with something masculine and so on and so forth.
So you said thin typefaces? Is that what you said? Are better associated with mental health and wellness?
Yeah. Thin typefaces, they are most our brain processes information this way. It is thin typefaces, and this is something beautiful about health and so on. And if there are bold typeface, yeah, there are actually studies which prove this. But you want to make database decisions. I'm giving you tips and recommendations here, but always test, because before making any changes, you want to know what works for you. So you need to test first.
Yeah. And what I would say, Baruch, is feel good with cognitive. I agree with Lina on all this stuff. Like you can't, it's hard to read. And when you have cognitive therapy here, and I'm kind of like, when I read through some of the description, I don't know what your app actually does. Right? Like I have no idea what it does. Is it just informative? It's like feel good, great. But then what? Like using all forms of the cognitive behavioral. Okay, cool. All forms of it. Again, you're not telling me how you do it. Like, I want to know a little bit more. If I'm downloading an app, of course, I want to feel better. If I'm looking for an app like this, there's obviously some mental health issues that I want to feel better about, and you're doing that. But what else? How are you helping me feel better? And I have no idea what you're doing to help me do that. So that's one of my feedbacks from this, because I have no idea what your app does. Frankly, is it a journal? Is it? I don't know. I don't know what the features are. And so I would try to highlight some of the features. I do think that you're doing a good job of kind of saying, like, if I'm downloading this app, I want to feel better. So you are kind of saying that right now, but at the same time, like also, so like what I always say, Lina, too, is show some social proof. Like what makes you better than everybody else? Because I need to know that. So what do? You want to regurgitate first screenshot? Like, here's my opinion, Lina, so feel free to disagree. But like first screenshot should be like the keyword that I'm looking for, in a way, like feel better with cognitive behavioral therapy. Great. Second screenshot, how am I different? Third screenshot, some social proof. Boom, 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 boom. And then you're off. And then you can have every other screenshot that you want. And I don't feel like these screenshots are doing it. And Lina said it, like, it's too small. Like should be a banner, like less text, bigger text. And I can't read this stuff. I'm blowing this up on my web, but on the phone itself, like it is very hard to see some of this text that you have on here. So that's my advice. The thing I'll say with ASO, and I'll shut up after that, Lina, is look, I pulled up the keyword velocity here for you here. So it looks like CBT has more search volume, which is great. You're ranking better for cognitive behavioral therapy, which is good. You want to get higher on that. What I always try to do is repeat the keyword that I'm targeting. So it looks like you're obviously targeting CBT and then cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT should also be a part of your short description, which is not. And then I always try to lead off with the keywords in that first few sentences. So really think about that. And then I know keyword density is important, but I've played around with it and I don't know how important it is. I haven't seen too big of a difference. There are other campaigns that we can run to help you increase those downloads, but at the same time, like those are some best practices for you too. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Lina? Got some questions.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and probably I would also add some mental health keywords, something about that. Stress release, fight anxiety, because yeah, I had to Google what cognitive behavioral therapy means. But I know that some people know what it is. There are CBT diaries. I've Googled it as well. But anyway, yeah, like Steve said, we see it for the first time and we don't know what exactly it offers. And just really try to enlarge your graphics to show your real interface, what your unique proposition, what users will get. I think that might actually work.
Yeah, let's go. What are your thoughts? See, like, this screen is not okay. There it is. What is it? Okay, interesting. I think if I'm already looking for it, I probably know what it is. I don't know. Save your automatic thoughts. I might leave with this. Okay, stop procrastination. Live with confidence. Start. So it looks like more of a journal. It's a depression tool.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a diary for your mental health when you, I don't know, make notes that then you can analyze to become better, to procrastinate less, to fight anxiety. I think something like that.
Yeah, and the UI is really bad here. Like current result skill, I haven't filled it out, and I kept tapping on this. You haven't filled any depression, but I have to click this little plus way up top. You have all this space that's like not actionable in the middle, but yet you have this tiny thing that is actionable at the very top, which is not how I would do it if I were you. Cool. All right. Well, I'm just gonna put something.
Oh, Joe has left a comment. I'm not a huge fan of the CBT app icon. It looks like an emoji maker versus a mental health companion. Totally agree. Joe, you formulated what I thought. I didn't know how to say that, but I agree with you. I looked at this icon and thought something is wrong with it, but I couldn't say what, and you described it. So as for the icon, I also would advise you to test several other icons. For example, just a few ideas. For example, place 2 or 3 like emojis, but with their expressions showing something related to mental health. For example, an emoji which is meditating, and another one with an expression of appeasement on its face. And I also looked at your competitors. First of all, you should choose something contrasting to them so that user's eye would catch it once, your icon. At the same time, you can experiment with that. For example, place an emoji which doesn't look as emoji with sense with the expression of appeasement, and play with colors. For example, it could be pink on the black background. I know that this is not associated with calmness, black and pink, but you could try, because contrasting colors actually draw users' attention at once. And when I see this icon, I think about a game for kids, probably.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the icon right here. I think the UX and the UI need a little bit of work. This is very hard, this anxious thing to control. It's very hard because my fingers start swiping up and down when I'm trying to like see, I'm trying to move the board, but I can't because my fingers are swiping. So I think I would work on the UX UI. Joe's a great UI UX designer and he's got great suggestions. So I would try to find somebody that is a more professional designer than what you've kind of put together, Baruch. All right, let's get into some of the questions that we might have on here. So great suggestion, Joe. Whoops, wrong layout. Let me go to here. All right, I want to say hi to a few people that just popped on. It's like when I started saying hi to people, more people started saying hi back. All right, what's up, Powell? Jesse, good to see you, brother. And then Brandon, just spoke to you yesterday. Good to see you here. Casper, all right, I think I got that right. And then here's some jokes. People thought it was super lame. I like it. I liked it. All right. Faster Blaster said, does ASO work even without paid ads? What do you think, Lina?
If in short, no. I I think that ASO is inextricably related to paid user acquisition, and they don't work without each other. But this year, like I said, with the IDFA deprecation we are facing, you should probably pay more attention to ASO, because we still don't know which user acquisition channels will actually work this year. Facebook will become probably cheaper, because you won't get the information on your campaigns you were getting previously. Lookalikes campaigns won't work like they worked previously. So this year, ASO is like I said, it is becoming even more important. But if you asked me a year ago, I would say no, ASO and paid user acquisition always work together equally.
Yeah, agreed. All right. The Joe says, how long did you have the 1 month trial for the app advice campaign? It was a 1 month trial, Joe. That's probably why it happened. I probably will try a 14-day trial, and I think I'd see an increase. 1 month seems like a lot. All right. Joe says, regarding churn, perhaps the users not find the immediate value prop in the annual plan. Could be, or it could be people, app advice people tend to just try out different apps and see how it goes. So if these users are coming back to the app after 1 month trial, they may jump on the plan. Yeah, exactly. And hopefully we'll see that. Can you read this, Lina?
Sorry?
I don't know. What is this?
This is a Russian-speaking guy, Andrew or Andrei, and yes, it's very funny. I was laughing at this as well because when I was talking about the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, I happened to say word brain in Russian. Mozg is the brain in Russian, so yeah, it's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. And then if you run Branded Brothers Gaming says, if you run A/B testing Google Play, you disappear from the block of similar apps of other apps until the experiment ends. Happened to me in icon tests. Does this usually happen? That's brand new for me. Do you know do you know anything about this?
I don't know anything about this. I think it's a bug. I think it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think
but I don't know. I can't say something certainly because it needs research. But that's an interesting case. I will definitely take a look at it and Google it and ask my colleagues.
Yeah, I like it. And Joe said, look, he said, I'm not a few. Yeah, kind of like what Leon said. The main vertical list is a little boring. It seemed it's similar because the illustrations are nice. So more feedback. Sam is here. Cool. Then you guys are talking. All right, Jamie has a great question. Lina, how much value is there in having a video in the App Store listing?
Well, Jamie, it's a really interesting question. Thank you. Actually, videos work well for games. They work better for games than for apps. But I have a lot of interesting cases when we ran A/B testing experiments for our clients, and these experiments showed that adding a video to your App Store listing not always improves your conversion. You actually may get an opposite result because I could share later with Steve, and maybe he will add to the channel. I can provide screenshots with our experiments with one of our clients, and actually the variation with video when a client added video to their App Store listing didn't show any improvement. Otherwise, the conversion dropped. And another case I could provide here, taxi provider Vizet. This is a Russian taxi provider. This is something like Uber, Lyft, and so on. They also used both Google Play and SplitMetrics A/B testing platform. They tested different cases, and I have the article by Andrew, head of marketing on our blog, and he says that adding a video also didn't work for them. Their conversion dropped according to tests. So what I want to say, you should always test, because just imagine if they added this video to the real App Store, and what would they get? Their conversion would drop, and they would have to contribute lots of efforts to get the level of conversion they previously had. And they ran an A/B test. They saw that they were getting no improvement, and on the contrary, and they didn't add that video, and they optimized the App Store listing without adding a video. So to finish up with this, adding video might actually work, especially if you're a game publisher, because showing your game as it is and app reviews gives you such an opportunity. It works really, really good for games on the app stores, but you should be careful because you have a very limited time, because users, they won't just just watch your video to the end. No, you have just maximum 3 or 5 seconds, maximum 10, and you should do your best to add the most cool features, the most cool moments of your games. Make sure that you add them to the beginning of your game or app. Okay, for app, it might actually also work, but as I know really several cases when adding a video dropped conversion, like I said. So if you want to try it, you should first test it, because probably you have such an app that will show features better with the help of video than with screenshots. Yes, and why would you just miss out on this opportunity? But first run A/B tests and see, and then only then you should apply the results to your App Store listing. Don't add a video without testing. That's my advice.
Love it. Okay, we're gonna have to go quick on some of these questions as well. Jamie said, what would you include? I think you answered that. Ram had a funny joke. Many indie hearts were broken with the paid ads answer. I agree. And then there's been a couple of different localization questions. Is localization of app landing page important? And then Ram says, any A/B test with localization, does it make much of a difference in certain countries? I guess in China it is a must. What are your thoughts on localization?
Totally agree. I have also some cases when localization helped publishers to increase their conversion. I think I've already mentioned that, up to 40%. I think this is great. This is tremendous success. And localization definitely works. It provides you with a lot of opportunities, because you should localize not only words. You should localize beyond just words. Just adjust your app to a culture of storefronts, of markets you are going to enter. Because always of us speak different languages. We have different cultural specificities, right? And what works for one nation or for one country might not work for another. So it's really, I think it's a great opportunity for your app. But again, you should test it first. But almost all experiments I've seen show that localization of App Store listing, not only of words, right? And adjusting visuals, adjusting icon and screenshots, they bring you really great conversion uplift. And for example, if you ask me about the Chinese market, yes, especially such cases illustrate the importance of localization. For example, with one app we tested, this was the New Year in China, and the publisher added something related to the Chinese culture to their icon. It was, for example, a dragon, I don't know, red dragon, something that is recognizable among the Chinese people, and it really worked. So yeah, it's a great tip. Localization is something that you should always keep in mind. Don't ignore it, and don't forget to localize beyond just words. Adjust your screenshots and icon to the culture, which is your target audience.
We just did a podcast interview that was released on Tuesday. So check out that podcast interview where he's talking about the Arabic and localizing in Arabic and why there's a huge potential there. He's talking about, like what you said, Lina, there's cultural sensitivities. So make sure you're localizing the graphics as well. We know things perform pretty well in Asia versus the US versus everywhere else. So I love that. All right, let's get into the last couple of apps while we still have a little bit of time left. We've got Avatarity, which is a pretty cool sounding app. Ollie wants feedback on screenshots, description, and pricing. So I'll lead off, Lina, and I'll try to make this a little bit quick. The screenshots, like, they didn't understand what your app did purely from the screenshots. I think what I would want to see is what you kind of have. Become anyone you want. And so you kind of describe it here, like, upload a photo of a celebrity or your boss and record a short video, and then you're gonna put the facial impressions on that. It's kind of like the me emoji, I think it's called, on the App Store. So on the iPhone, which is really cool technology, but I don't get that sense from these screenshots.
Steve, you are just looking at it from the desktop, right?
Yes.
From your computer. And I've also checked it via computer, and on my smartphone, there is a video actually.
Okay. Speaking of, I can pull that up too. I have my Abbott. Oops, I don't know how to spell it. Spelled that wrong. Moyle's here, so I want to make sure okay, cool. Drive whatever you want, whoever you want. Yeah, come on. Drive. I don't even that's the right words for that, but let's get into it so we can get. Really cool. I like this. But I mean, I almost would lead off with that as the screenshot, because like you said, not everybody might be watching the videos. So like, you can't show it here, but like, it make any photo alive doesn't speak to me, right? Like, or become anybody you want. That is almost like that. And I would probably use these like celebrities more so than this Mona Lisa. I get Mona Lisa is interesting, but make any photo alive isn't what I would be considering. Like, I don't know. I don't like that word. It doesn't speak to me. So what I honestly do is I look at reviews of even similar apps, and I look at all the positive reviews, and I think about all the words that they're using. So if all the positive reviews say, look, I can, like become Trump or become somebody else, and it's sort of like Memoji, I just regurgitate these words back into the first 3 screenshots here. So yeah, but I don't think drive whoever you want is how you want to lead off with that.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. And probably I would add the most viral masks, the most interesting to your video, to the first seconds of your video. And I would also make all bets on celebrities.
Yeah.
Celebrities and probably pets. For example, because with the child, I didn't really get it. I didn't understand what you mean here. And please read the masquerade case I mentioned. It is on our SplitMetrics blog, and I could share it later with Steve.
Yeah.
Because you have a very similar app, and there is like a step-by-step guide how to gain success, because masquerade is almost the same, and it gained millions of downloads. So just you might want to take a look.
Okay, I will pull that into if you can send me a link, I will put that into the YouTube description as well. Okay, let's get into your price. I won't update the app and make you guys wait because I have the app right now. So make your photos alive. Okay, it looks really cool. I like this. Okay, I like that. Okay. I don't know why you put make alive and next, but okay. All right, great. Good to show your pricing page right here. What I would add is pro features, no watermark, increased conversions. Like, this is confusing. Remove the Mona Lisa in the background. It's too hard to read. Just make it clear. Add more benefits to this. Right now, like, nobody wants, like, like unlock your potential or unlock your true potential. Something that speaks to the benefit of unlocking this. I like the no watermark, increase record limit, like how much more, right? Especially on the onboarding process, you are going to get increased conversions, but I don't know why showing it during the onboarding process, but I don't know what's free and what the increased record limit. So if it's like unlimited or up to 10, show the difference between free and pro might help out here too, but definitely remove the Mona Lisa. It makes it harder to read.
I agree, but I would also add that I personally liked that you provide here information that you'll get something, because many apps just pay us. This is for months, this is for a year, and I'm like, what should I pay for? I've just downloaded it, and yeah, makes a lot of sense what Steve says. Just that's good, but specify what a user will get if they pay.
I like it. Let's see what's going on. I didn't get what, so it said demo library. Well, I don't know what photos are on here, so let's try it. Okay. So this dog, I don't know what this dog, but then I don't know why I'm picking a dog and then I get this stuff, these gifts. I don't understand why that happens.
I
You know what I mean?
also.
I pick Mona Lisa. I'm expecting Mona Lisa, but then it shows me a GIF instead, which is kind of weird. Okay, let's pick a short one because generating. Let's see what happens. Now I'll go into after this. So that's not me doing anything, obviously. Okay, interesting. It's very confusing on how to use this app. I would change that around, okay?
Yeah, live mode, I think.
Hello, Lina. Hello.
Hello, Steve, Mona Lisa.
Okay, really cool. I think I would lead off with that, but it's very confusing on how I got to that point. I didn't know why you're leading me through all these steps. The other thing I always noticed too, and the big thing is the pricing page was there in the very beginning. I have no idea how to upgrade anymore. So if this is the main page I'm always going to be on, like let's say I exit, I'm like, all right, well, me and Lina are done. I come back, or maybe I check out Moyo's app and I come back here. And then again, where's the pricing? Like, how do I upgrade? You should have a little upgrade here on this main screen. So I would try to do that as well from a pricing perspective. Let's see how this works. See, I have no idea why you're making me pick a GIF all the time. Okay, now my wife. Steve, I love you in your beanie. You look so
Beautiful.
pretty. All right, it is a fun app, but I don't know. The UI is a little bit messed up for me. Okay, let me get into some of these questions before my daughter keeps coming in. She's in PE right now, or she's in a break. All right. Casper says, we all know that ASA and UAC have an impact on the ASO, but can you tell me the impact from other channels such as Facebook advertising?
I can tell you that no one actually can answer you this question because we still don't know what happens after the IDFA deprecation. But like I said, you won't be able to track those data you were able to track previously on Facebook. That's why Facebook traffic might get a little bit cheaper. But I would also add that probably for the App Store, Apple Search Ads will become one of the major channels where you'll be able to target a specific audience because it is on the App Store, it is part of Apple, you know, and there's nothing I can add here because everyone on the industry is just expecting news. We still don't know, although these changes will come into life this year.
Got it. All right. I agree with you, Lina. Like, I do think that like download velocity is always important. So the more you're able to increase your downloads, the more likely your ASO is going to help out. But with that episode that I was talking about with Ryan Yada, he was talking about retention, monetization, all that stuff is super important. And as they started fixing the retention metrics, he started noticing an increase in ASO as well.
Yeah,
So
I totally agree.
yeah.
You should take a look at your lower funnel. Those metrics are also showing what happens.
Moyo told me that like, here's how it works. The GIF, I can do a facial expression. So if I wanted my wife to look like The Rock, I can do that. And this will create the video. You pick the image first, and then you pick the expression. Very weird UI. And again, you're not showing me the pricing. So you could show me, Ollie, the pricing page, or now that the video, I'm impressed. It looks super cool. Let me upgrade. right? And even the last thing I'll say on this, so here you got my wife doing that now, right? Like it makes sense.
She
Like,
will kill you,
sorry,
Steve.
I know she's gonna kill me. All right, but even when I pick, let's say I pick Elon and I want Elon to do what's up, like here, tell me like what's the longer one? If I wanted a longer one, this is a great spot to get me to upgrade here as well. So I will leave it at that. All right, let's get into Moyo. I know Moyo's been here. Moyo wants us to look at monetization of non-paying users, rewarded surveys, offer walls, paid growth channels besides Facebook ads. So let's take a look at Moyo's app. And he's got a coloring book, adult coloring book app right here. So really cool app. Now, Moyo, like here's where I think you can leverage the A/B testing with the screenshots too. I think your app icon, kind of like what Lina said, you might want to A/B test that. I like it, but I think Color Noir, like unless it speaks to your target audience right away, I would say like official black adult coloring book right here, right? And then relax and be delighted, find your calm. I do like that. I like the celebrate culture and join community. And so I think most people understand why they're getting an adult coloring book. And so I might want to highlight more of the celebrate culture and join the community as the first and second screenshots. And also be like, maybe like official black coloring book, relax and, be delighted, or relax and find your calm as one screenshot, and then put in celebrate culture, join the community, everything else later on. But that's how I would probably reorganize these screenshots for you.
And I will probably, this is probably the case where app preview, a video might actually work. I would show your game, this entertainment app, in the middle of the process. I like the screenshot with the pencil, and I like the icon because this is how our brain also interacts with this graphics, because we just imagine like we are using this color book. But I think video could expose your features better here and
I do
show
have a
how.
video. So,
Interesting.
right, like I don't like that video.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like what the other video had with the avatar one, like have some words in that first initial screenshots, because it does look. Let me see if I can find another one. You can see, can have words on there. So what I would suggest too, Moyo, is having some words in that first initial screenshot and kind of highlighting that a little bit more. So official black coloring book, like have that in this first video screenshot and have some words in there. Cause I think, you have to think of video like a Facebook ad, right? Like you have to have some words in there. And again, I think find your calm, all that stuff is how I would remove everything. And I think, celebrate the culture, join the community. Those are the main reasons why people want this app. I think they understand the relax and calm. So I try to put relax and calm in an official black coloring book into one screenshot while moving up the community and culture a little bit more. I just play that up. All right.
And I think it's also a good step to underline that this is an anti-stress game, and anxiety will go away. That should also work for someone, because we are all on the lockdowns now, and many people are actually using such entertainment apps and games to release
All right.
their stress.
Let's open it up. Okay. So I think I might have screwed it up, but here the unlock hundreds of images, new pictures every month, no ads, subscribe. I like it. Here's a tip that I'll tell you guys. I'll just put it on YouTube's, but I sent it to my email list last week. And Moyo, I think I told you about this, but using the word free, we found that we saw an 11% increase in conversions by just having the word free on this pricing page. So Moyo, what you can do is free new pictures every month. And then I don't know if there's other things, but that's all we did. We just added the free to one of these two bullet points. And then we're able to increase conversions by 11%. So think about how you might be able to utilize this. I do like the free 7-day trial. So does the yearly come with a trial? No. I would consider putting a trial on the yearly, Moyo, and then maybe a no trial on the monthly. So I would consider that. I like how he's broken it down. So I want to see the breakdown of this, Moyo. But it looks like $8.99 no trial, $9.99 for a trial, and then a no trial for the yearly. What we found in, one of the books I'm reading too, lifetime value is super important. So if your lifetime value of a monthly user, Moyo, is like, let's say $20 or $30, the more, even if you get lower conversion rates, if you can get people to the yearly, your lifetime value becomes hopefully, $100, because more likely they're going to stay on for a couple of years. Or maybe if they just stay on for a year, you've just doubled your lifetime value in a way, right? So think about what the churn is on the monthly and try to get people on the yearly as much as possible. All right. Best deal. Yeah. And then Joe says best deal gets very lost in the top left of the yearly. We agree. I want to put best deal. I would say like, what's the savings? That's like 50% off, right? So I would probably do that. And then, yes, got to have free. Okay, cool. Oh, I like this. See, this is what I was talking about on the other app. Like Moyo does a good job here. 7-day free trial. Talks about that. Tag. Cool. Color Noir. Got ads. I like this. And then I guess you can pick some. Cool. I like the fact that you can unlock and lock some of these. Hey Moyo, so Lina, I have no stats on this. I don't like things that are moving all constantly. I just hate it. It drives my eye to it. It moves my eye, shifts it so much that I'm almost like, I want to move it. Like, how do I stop it? Like, I want to stop it, Moyo. So I would test this. Like, obviously this scrolls, so I can do that. But what I would just do is just, that I'm not a subscriber, just have this 7-day free trial as the main thing, and don't let me move it. Have these little dots so that I know I can move it myself, but at the same time, don't do that. I would just show this. Because right now, like if I'm just looking at this, watch, let's just look at this. Where's your eye going? My eye's going a couple of different places, the top and the very bottom, because those are the things that's moving. Your ad and then your banners at the very top are where my eye's going. But you want me to go here, obviously.
Yeah, I totally agree with Steve. Or at least make the speed slower, because they are moving too fast and user sees nothing. We don't know where to look, at the bottom or at the top. Didn't you think about coloring a part of these pictures here where you are unlocking? For example, they are black and white here, right? And this is a coloring book. And I think that would be cool to add some colors. Just, for example, like a user has already started coloring it. For example, she has colorful hair or something like that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, Lina. I was like, everything has color, right? Like the top. So like my eyes are going to the top, but at the same time, like I would want these, and I don't know how other coloring books are, but I almost want to see them in color. And then when I start it, it goes boom. All right. So well, I don't necessarily like this. It feels like a bad UI UX experience. One of the things that this motivation app that I did I'm doing a video on this, but essentially what they do, Moyo, is I can't do it anymore. But when I try to change the color schemes, look, none of it's locked, right? It says unlock, it says subscribe or watch ad, right? So now I'm like, oh, okay, I can get it for free by watching an ad. So you might want to try that rather than just forcing an ad for me, so that when I go back to this, so if I tap on this, I see a little pop-up that says watch ad or subscribe to the premium. And then I'm now going into watching an ad rather than you just interrupting me with an ad like this right now.
I totally agree. I myself, when I use some apps and they just offer to watch an ad to unlock some feature, I always resort to that. And this is a win-win situation, I think, both for you and in the user.
Which this was crazy because this app, and I've got an upcoming video on this, if I were to change categories, like you see how some are locked. The first time I watched an ad, it was done, and I didn't have to watch any more ads. And I've never watched. I was like, I'm not going to watch the ad, but then it sort of like unlocks everything that is free, not locked. So if I click the lock, it just gets me to subscribe. If I hit depression, this is what it does. Watch an ad or go premium. So there, I was able to mimic that. That's something you might want to consider.
I agree.
Another app. So that's how they did it. And so that's how, see, like that again, watch an ad, go premium. So that's how I would do it for yours too, rather than forcing me to watch an ad.
Really great tip.
Okay, cool. Let's end with one more joke, and then maybe if there's one more questions, we can get into that. Lina, I've kept you too long. I apologize to my daughter. All right, guys, I got my bell now. My son did come by and gave it. All right, ready for this?
Yeah.
Fine, good one. 10 if you think it's super lame. Number 1 if you think it's hilarious. Let me move this around so your eyes are on. Go. The police arrested my daughter claiming it burnt our house down, but it was actually arson. Our son. All right, that is it, my friends. Did I miss anything? Here's a question by Romaine. Is it a good idea to split the paywall in 2 pages? One for the features and benefits, one for the pricing. Romaine, I did show other apps like Reflectly and Fastic that do this. So again, like the theme of this stream, A/B tests, but I have seen other people do that. And I think it's probably the right way to go. So that's my hunch. And other people have been A/B testing on my own. I think that's what I do with my apps. So test it with yours, see if it works out better. But I do like to keep the messaging pretty clear because it's a double opt-in now. Like, okay, I want to continue, and then you see the price. Okay. And who cares who I am today? Give us samples. What is a good conversion rate for game? For example, for US, I have 42%, but for Japan, I have 3.21%. I don't know what you mean by conversion rate. Is it downloads? Is it, downloads over impressions? What does this mean? So give me some more ideas on that.
Yeah, you may have a conversion from search results or from the product page, but anyway, I think you can find this information. We have Apple Success Benchmarks reports at SplitMetrics for 2019, 2020, and you may actually find this information there.
Got it. And Moyo says he modeled the scrolling banners from Recolor, one of the top 2 coloring apps in the space. So that's cool. Scores. All right. Somebody thought it was funny. Thanks, guys. Good. 9. That was pretty funny. Thanks, Bianca. Great live stream. Emilio, good. All right. Give a sample. And again, okay. So he said shop, view, and download. So I think, Lina, you kind of answered this already. If you're getting, yeah, good download, maybe it's the graphics that you need to localize for Japan. If you're getting pretty high, 42%, do you see like, if it's shop view to download, is that assuming like product page views? I almost try to go up to like 60, 70% for that. Right, Lina?
Yeah. And most of downloads on the App Store, they come from search results, actually. I think 60%. Yes. That's true for the App Store.
Yeah. Cool.
But visuals are critical here, actually, because users decide whether to download your app just in a couple of seconds, no more.
Exactly. Lina, anything you missed? Anything I missed? I kept you for a very long time, but anything I missed that you want to make sure we end with?
No, I've had a lot of fun, and I think we've covered really a lot of aspects.
Absolutely. Lina, thank you so much for taking your time on this, for letting me go over time with you. The website is called SplitMetrics. I'm sure you guys have probably already heard of them. They are one of the biggest A/B testing platforms out there. Look, she talked about all the insights on what you can do to really increase your conversions. And just to summarize, if you just watch the Cliff Notes, it is the app icon, it is the screenshot. So those are the 2 most critical things that you should A/B test. And Lina, let me put words in your mouth, but app icon, probably the more important of the 2. Right?
For the App Store, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, is it different on Google Play, or is it?
Yeah, on Google Play, screenshots are still most important elements.
Really? I thought it would be vice versa. But App Store, app icon, Google Play, screenshots.
Yeah, but that's true for mobile games. For apps, I think numbers could be a little bit different, but overall, icon and screenshots are the most crucial elements.
Got it. Love it. All right. If you guys want to check it out, it is SplitMetrics.com. Lina, if the audience wants to connect with you personally in any other way, do you want to send them anywhere else?
Yeah, please feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, via my email, lina.d at splitmetrics.com, or
Awesome.
find me on social media. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much, guys. Steve, your streams are always awesome, and thank you so much for having me. I've had pleasure talking to you and sharing my thoughts.
Next time we'll sync up on the dress code. All right. We'll get you back on.
Yeah.
We'll sync up on the dress code.
Yeah, we'll sync next time.
I love it. Well, guys, I will link up Lina's LinkedIn into the YouTube description as well. I'll get my team to do that. But I forget what we're doing next. Let me move that up. And then thanks for joining. I want to say thank you for you guys for all the thanks. And then next week we've got, yes. Next week, we've got one of the apps we audited way back in the day, Super Mama. Andre, he's going to come on and share from the app audit what he changed and how that led to, I think it's triple the conversions now. So you want a student, stay tuned for that. And then if you guys want your app audited from me and the guests, it's simple, appmasters.com/audit. So for Lina, thank you guys for joining week in and week out. I really enjoy it. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.